Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Remember, if you love film, gaming, or television content, please consider clicking that subscribe button because today I'm going to be talking about what I think is a very underrated film, and that is The Good Nurse. So, let's get into it. So, if you didn't know, The Good Nurse is a new Netflix film starring both Jessica Chastain and Eddie Redmayne. The synopsis of this film reads, "Suspicious that her colleague is responsible for a series of mysterious deaths, a nurse risks her own life to uncover the truth in this gripping thriller based off true events. The killer that this film covers is Charles Cullen, played by Eddie Redmayne, who is infamous for murdering a confirmed 29 people." I watched this knowing full well that this received quite a lukewarm reception, and after now seeing the film, I don't really understand why. Sure, it's not perfect, it does have its issues, but just as a great movie to watch at home on Netflix, I think this is a great watch that is really gripping. I was engaged throughout the full 2-hour runtime because at times, while it does play out a little generic, it also does things that separates itself enough from other films in this genre. I think what engaged me the most goes a little into what Eddie Redmayne says in this interview.
So used to horrific things or violence being prevented and stopped by violence, and actually what this film was about was how violence was ended through compassion. I found that interesting.
This prolific serial killer develops a genuine friendship with Jessica Chastain's character, who obviously has no idea of his wrongdoings, and it creates a serious conflict as the film unfolds. The Good Nurse also does a great job of showing that Chastain's character isn't doing great in her personal life, and something like this could really destroy everything for her. And I thought Jessica Chastain played that role really well, and it proved to be a nice follow-up from her Oscar-winning performance in The Eyes of Tammy Faye. The standout though has to be Eddie Redmayne. I have always liked him as an actor, and I've always been a little confused as to why he gets a lot of hate. Film Twitter has had this weird problem with him, and I don't really know why. He seems like a pretty nice guy, and he's a damn good actor, and this is one of his best performances in years. He is a friendly presence, but he has so much boiling under the surface, and as the film progresses and things start to become undone, we get some truly great moments when it comes to his performance. One scene in particular honestly gave me chills. It was that good, and it elevated the film so much in my opinion. I also just really like how this film unfolds. It doesn't innovate a whole lot, and at times it does feel like it's Fincher light, and it does feel kind of generic and derivative because of that. But to me, at the same time, I still think the film works really well with the simple format it has. It aims for an open mid-range jump shot, and it hits, rather than going for a long distance 3 and failing spectacularly. I also thought that the questions that this presented about the politics of a hospital and them being afraid to lose what little funding they had was a very interesting one. You could say that when watching this film, it says that these hospitals are a little corrupt, but I really think that this is more of a case of selfishness, where they would rather hush things up rather than risk being closed down because a nurse is murdering patients in their hospital.
Okay, so what is the secret, Michael?
In terms of negatives, I do think that this film is a little bland stylistically. There's only one shot in this film that I thought stood out as a decent stylistic choice. Other than that, it really just looks like any other film about a serial killer. It has this very cold color palette and doesn't try to do anything that exciting. Everything else is just fairly serviceable, the editing is fine enough, and the score is there, but it's also quite forgettable. I also think that this film at times almost follows a Netflix serial killer route by making the killer look very likable at times. I get that there is that friendship element to it, and I really like that, but the third act doesn't do a whole lot to show how despicable this person is. It still feels like the film is trying to say, hey, he's still a good guy, he just happens to kill people, and I don't think that is a great message to have in a film. Overall, I think The Good Nurse is great and has spectacular performances and asks very interesting questions. I was very happy I saw this, and I don't think it is as average as a lot of review scores have made this out to be. I'm going to give The Good Nurse a 4 out of 5, and I think it is well worthy of a recommendation if you're looking for a good film to watch on Netflix. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. Tell me in the comments below what you think about The Good Nurse, and I'd also like to know what you think about Eddie Redmayne's chances are of getting a supporting actor nomination. I think he does have a shot, but I know that category is quite stacked, so he may get edged out, but you never know. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.